Good evening, welcome to VP4 Online yet again, and we are all set for another match in this year's virtual 10 ball world championship. It's going to be a one-loss side match, and the match is between Larry and Senny. Race to 10. We'll have a quick look at the bracket because we're going to have two matches tonight, hopefully. We have the match, where is it? The match that's about to go ahead at the top of the hour between Larry and Senny, and we also have on the winner's side, if I can get this to work. Now, where is it? Hang on a minute. We've got a round 3 match, not that one. Where the hell's it went to? I think I've scrolled down past it. Wait a sec. Yeah, we've got the match here between Vinces and Interchangex. Vinces having beat Bedhead in round 2 and Interchangex beating Potman. So the two of them are about to go ahead, but unfortunately it's at 3 AM in the morning. So I'm hoping to stay awake for that. I don't have any work to go to tomorrow. Good evening, Albie. No work tomorrow, so hopefully I can stay awake. I might go get a cup of coffee or something until that match is about to start. We've got a few matches on the fixtures. We've got another one in a couple of days' time between Mr. Nine Ball and Gadajaka Glawa, I think that's his name. That's set for 8 PM. I should have that one. And then that other one that's over the other side in another couple of days after that. So the tournament's really taking shape. If you haven't had a chance, go to my YouTube channel and click on the playlists tab, and that'll let you look at all the matches that I've streamed in this year's tournament. And if you get a chance, have a look at the Mr. Bill match with Semi-Pro. That was a match of 2 halves, and you really got to see the full run. I actually sat and watched the full match again yesterday after having been in there watching it. But it really was. It was strange. It definitely was a match of 2 halves. It was just strange the way it went. Well, you only get emails, Simon, if you subscribe to my channel. If anybody's watching the stream and doesn't bother subscribing, they won't get notifications. Some people don't want emails keeping coming through, but you know, that's up to whoever it is whether they want to stream or not. Suddenly my voice has gone funny. I hope it's going to hold out to do this match and the one that's supposedly going to be at 3 AM. Well, the two players are in. They probably lagged off and started. No, they're just about to. Just in time. Well, Larry is on the right. I can tell that. Senny's queue hasn't downloaded yet, but Larry is definitely on the right. And Larry has won the lag. And well, I don't know what Senny's going to turn up in this match. Larry won his other one loss side match. That was a match that must have went ahead in the middle of the night, or maybe on the spur of the moment when I wasn't here or gone to bed. Larry won his last match against Marcellus by 10 racks to 8. I never looked to see how did Senny get here. Who was it beat Senny again? I definitely streamed it, I remember that, but I cannot remember. Senny got a bye to the second round, and then Stubb beat Senny. So again, a reminder, it's alternate break, and it's a called shot game. So all non-obvious shots should be called, combos and banks preferably. Good evening, welcome to the stream. So Larry's in with the first chance, but 7 ball is hidden behind the 10, and it's not exactly dead set that he's going to get on this 3. Yeah, it was difficult to try and hold that cue ball for the 3. Well, I would assume Larry will be back to his usual attacking style against Senny. But what he doesn't want to keep doing is keep leaving balls like that 3 ball over the pocket. Well, he's still got the safety net again. We talk about the safety net when there's a couple of balls locked up or awkward, so it would be a fair ask for Senny to run this rack, and he's just played the big draw, and now well, he either plays safe or he calls the reverse bank over to that middle pocket, which looks like what he's doing. Cue ball is going to have to go around the table from this because he won't get a shot in the 5. And of course the 5's locked in front of the 9 ball, and it's not bad for a combo, and you've just got to go for 100%. A problem again with this shot is you're not 100% sure how the 5 ball's going to end up, assuming that you pot the 9. So it's all hinging on the 7 ball. Well, that's very tight to get that past the 7. I think I'd be looking for cover here. It's an easy safety shot for Larry if he just gets the pace and drops in behind that 7, and that will do. And now the only thing with that shot though is that, oops, the 7 ball has only improved very slightly, and you'd have to get sort of here to have a cut at that 7. But if Senny doesn't get the hit, and I think the most important thing here is that Senny gets the hit on this 6 ball, because he gives ball in hand. Larry can just roll that 6 into this right corner as we look, and roll through for the 7. And he's going to be able to do that now. A bit of a drink. So Larry's lining up the 7 to see where he wants to get to it. I don't think he's going to try and break it out. I think he's... Well, the angle he's got suggests he wants to break this out, and this is taking a risk. If he does, I thought it'd be simpler just to roll through and make sure you're going to get the pot. Well, I presume he just tried to go around the corner to get there. Well, he's almost there. It's not ideal, but he can cut it. But he's chosen the bank. Now, can he get down onto that 8? Good. Thing is, if he'd actually played the cut, the 10 ball would have held it up, and the 10 ball's pretty much done that anyway. So he's now got a tough one, and this is the problem Larry's going to land himself in if he can't back himself all the way here. Senny's just going to come in and pinch this. If he gets a chance, you would assume so. And if he's cutting it to the right pocket, cue ball's going around the angle. It's a question of whether he can hold it on this bottom side of the table where we are to get a shot in the 9. That's going to run out, I think. Is it going to hold up? I think it has. Well, that's tough. Well, it's a good inch off the rail, so it gives him that margin of error. He just has to hit it sweet, and it's coming away. Now, is it going to go over that middle pocket? No, it hasn't, but Senny has got the shot. Now Senny's in no man's land. What does he do here? Well, I think he's got to draw off that 10 ball to try and avoid a scratch in the middle pocket. In fact, if he just plays it plain ball, he might go to the right of the middle pocket looking at it. And it was tough. So in the end, Larry's going to get the rack, but he's getting it by default. So the first rack on the board. Remember, just a race to 10. Instances like that are of prime importance for Senny. He simply has to take the chances that he gets. He can't go wasting them, but it was a tough shot in the 10 ball that he had. And here's his first chance. The 2 ball has gone, so it's a 1 ball. And just kill it stone dead and leave that cue ball straight on the 3 for the 3-10 combo. Oh, it was Senny that broke, was it? My mistake already. That's a bad sign. We're only 5 minutes into the game. Oh, good evening, Keith. Oh, Larry was well off the mark with that one. So, any latecomers, this is a one-loss side match between Larry from the US and Senny from Scotland. And we have a round 3 match between Vinces and Interchangeettes coming up at 3 AM British Summer Time tomorrow morning, which would be 10 PM East Coast. and 7 p.m. Pacific. That's a reasonable pace. It's not that important what angle he has on this 8 ball. The obvious one would be just to drop through for the 9. But even if he goes the wrong side slightly, a bit like that, he just needs to roll through. Well, he's left a wee bit more angle on it than he actually required, and he has to judge this pace correctly again. Doesn't want to go way inside that 10 ball, and that will do. So Senny's going to have his chance here to square the match. And the break goes back to Larry. With the alternate break in operation, it does bring a whole different shape to the way a game can pan out. If you're unlucky in the break, you get nothing, or if you're unlucky, you get something but you don't get a shot. Strange things start happening. So Larry's break is dry. Senny's got the cut into the middle. Now that looks as if it slows up. He's going to have a shot on the 2. It looks tight. In fact, well, I think he could help that in by trying to just spin around that 4 ball. Oh, he could get it clean. That's a good shot. And the table is wide open for him. And I reckon that if Senny, well, I was just going to say if we can cut out or minimise the unforced errors, then it would keep him in with Larry for most of the match if he can. That's what you'd expect. And he's got himself out of a little problem there. Now, can he get enough in this to get out for the 7? He certainly can. Good firm stunt. And now the important shot is coming up to get from that 8 out onto the 9. There's a big area of a table to get on that 9 ball. And this shot is going to have to be firm. Well, playing the big draw, very easy to overhit it, but he's actually played that perfect. I thought he was going for the deep screw there, but he's played it absolutely perfect. And he's left it short. Now, always better to overhit that shot than leave yourself square like this, because these are always troublesome. And he's hung it up again. And this is the type of thing he needs to cut out. He has to get through the rack. Because he's gifting them to Larry doing this. You get the stream notification emails if you hit the subscribe button on my channel. It's usually the red button that says subscribe on it. Now, the one thing to be aware of, though, is that you will get notification emails whenever I stream anything, whether it be me and my truck or virtual pool or anything else. So Larry back into the lead. Senny had the golden opportunity there, done all the hard work, left himself short on that 10 and left himself in trouble, missing the cut. And Senny doesn't want to be sitting at the end of this match thinking how many chances he's missed or thrown away, but he's already got a couple so far. Well, 3 ball, let's have a look at that one. We can see the 3 ball goes, but simply by being there it's still in an awkward position, especially with the 2 being down here. So there's a bit of work to do for whoever, but in the meantime it's going to be Senny with first attempt. A mistake by Larry, giving Senny the chance, but he'll do well to get anywhere near this 3 ball. He's tried to break them out, he's managed to do that, but he's still covered by the 5, so looking to keep this safe somewhere. And I don't know whether he can get that 3 ball up the table without the actual 3 ball itself running into something here. Yeah, well that'll do though. He's got a result. I don't think Larry is going to have any problem hitting the 3. He's called the kick bank into the right middle just in case. The 3 ball's going to hang. No, I'll be working at the weekend. There's no way I'll be up at that time of night, I'm afraid. I'm working Saturday and Sunday. The times that I can stream are well, like next week for example, on Friday I'm working till 4 in the afternoon, but most days I'd be home at about, after I've had something to eat, I'd be online about maybe 3:30 in the afternoon UK time, which is still morning East Coast time, and any time up until about, well, the stream would need to start like latest 8 o'clock my time, which again is 3 o'clock East Coast. But I mean, it's only the fact that I'm not working tomorrow that I can stay up and get the Vince's Interchange X Max match. I'm not sure whether I'll be able to last till then because the voice is beginning to go for some reason. It's strange, it just started this sort of, it feels a bit sort of dry in my throat at the moment, and it's sounding as if it's beginning to break up. Now, how does that 8 ball look? The 8 ball's fine, but there's a problem again getting down onto that 6. It's a big distance. He's done pretty well. The problem with this shot is the 6 ball so far from that corner pocket. Larry's got to watch the cue ball doesn't escape up the table and get blocked by that 9 ball. He's going to have to try and go left for the cue ball here. Maybe a little bit of English on it to help it over to the left-hand side. He doesn't want it to square up, so that he's decided to hit it with power. And he's going to scratch. Well, here we go again. And this is a great chance for Senny to square the match. Well, this Sunday I'm working till, I'm just doing a short shift on Sunday, 6 o'clock in the morning to 9:45. So I'll be home on Sunday. Once I get home, I'll have breakfast, and then I'll pretty much be online most of the day. Not necessarily available in the VP4 lobby, although I'll be in there, but I'll probably be doing other things, watching football and stuff like that. I mean, I had planned to watch the Liverpool game tonight and watch that before this Vince's Interchange X Max came on at 3 o'clock in the morning. My plan was to maybe have a nap, have a cup of coffee or something, and then get ready for those two guys going at it. But my plans have been scuppered by these two guys setting their match up. So one of you guys is going to have to keep me up to date on what's happening with the Liverpool game. That game would have started at 8 o'clock, I think, so it's about 25 minutes in the first half. So we're back all square. Larry at the table. And once again, we have problem balls right in the middle of the table at the top end. The 10 and 7 are locked together. And of course, with the 8 ball being very adjacent there, that makes it even more difficult, because the 8 ball is blocking the path to get a shot at the 7 into that corner. So that adds to the difficulty. Well, this is going pretty straight. I don't think he wants to try risking doing anything elaborate. He's just going to go through, and the little angle gives him all the help he needs there, but he's got no way of breaking this 7 and 10 on that angle. He's trying to play left-hand English to check into the rail and hold it. Well, that is a brilliant shot. He's went for it full-blooded. He's got the break. I didn't think he could hold it, but he's got a difficult 7, and he's going to let this one go again, I think. Well, Larry's got a tough 7, but I didn't think Senny would be able to get enough onto that cue ball to actually hold it and check it. He managed it, but left it awkward, and he's left Larry his chance. The 10 ball, I think, is off the point. Let's have a look at that. Well, you've got to get in a good position for that 10 ball. So Larry will be going around the table or drawing back, whatever it is. He'll be going to the top side, because that's the way the 10 ball's going to go into that middle pocket from the top side, like where he is at the moment with the cue ball. So I can't believe he's going to try and run that down the rail from here. He's got to go top side. And It has to be said, it's another chance that Larry's coming in and pinching the rack here. Senny can't say he hasn't had chances already, but he's still trailing. Senny breaks off in rack number 6. It's dry, but it's safe. 3 ball hanging over the top right. And the problem is there. That 4 ball is the problem. And, well, you'd have thought the best bet of trying to move the 4 ball would be from that 3 ball. But it only helps if you get a good angle on the 3. The only thing Senny can do is just draw the ball and hope he gets the right pace, because the 2 goes, but it's so tough to draw this at a pace to leave a shot in the 2. Now, I think he's going to miss the 9. The cue ball's heading up towards the 3. That's a good pot. Now he has to cut the 3 in. And he doesn't want to put too much English on this. He wants to use the angle he has to just run that cue ball into the rail, hit the 6 and nudge things out the way here. Well, he's tried it in a completely different way than I seen it. I don't know what he thought the draw was going to give him, but he had an angle to cut that 3 and come off the rail and across. The draw doesn't get the job done, but he's played a good safety, which is of prime importance. So the priority for Senny is just staying with Larry, but has to make better use of the chances that he's been getting. And Larry's got the kick. Has he got the full cover on that 4? Oh, that's... Well, he's not potting it, put it that way. It's too tight. Yeah, I don't think he's potting that direct, so he's going for an outrageous bank shot. It has to be said, I'd be going for the safety. Oh, what a shot. What a pick out that is. But it's no good to him if he can't get good in the next ball. It's putting himself under pressure. He can play safe here. If he just banks, if he just pushes that 5 ball to the right of the 6, it's going to go over towards the 10. And he'll keep the cue ball over on the left hand side. Well, he's made his mind up. He's going all out. How's he going to hold for the 6? And he's got the bank on the 5, and things are just remaining tough. How does that angle look there? Well, it's off the rail. Again, it has to be just right on that sweet spot. Well, in goes the 6. Cue ball staying live. And this is going to be a sore one now that he's played 3 great shots. If he cannot get the job done, he's got to do it. Nice little cannon onto the 10. And now it looks simple. Just drop the 9 in. 10 ball into the right middle. Well, he might end up taking this long here with the angle he has in this 9. He has to just baby it in. Oh, he's managed to hold it again. And this is an excellent rack to win considering the shape he was in. He was bent out of shape in all directions, but he's managed to come through. And that ties the match up again. That was a very good rack to win for Senny. It lets your opponent know as well not to take you too lightly, because Larry is so attack-minded. He's got one thing in mind when he sees the ball and it's on. And Senny has to make Larry pay. He hasn't so far, but he's took a great opportunity in that rack. A couple of really tough bank shots. A tough cut in that 6. And then the rest of it was plain sailing after that, but it was a good rack to win. Good evening. And Senny's, and I keep saying it, his task at the moment is to not let Larry get away. And the deeper into the match it goes, then you bring the other factors into it. The nerves start coming in. The little voices in the head start playing. And, well, as we saw the other day there with Mr. Bill and Semi-Pro, it got down to the business end, and Semi-Pro made the crucial errors that cost him. Bill was 5 racks behind at one stage. I think he was 9-4 behind. Won about 7 in a row, I think, or no, tell a lie, it wasn't 7 in a row, because he ended up 9-all. No, it was. He got to 11-10 in front. 11-9, and then it was 11-10, and then 12-10, and then we had a couple of bad mistakes by Semi-Pro, and Bill confidently took the last 2 racks. A real hard battle he had in that match. And all of these matches are on the playlist tab on my YouTube channel if you want to look back on any of them. That's one match that's worth a look. As I said, I watched the full match again yesterday afternoon. So Larry looks as if he's going to go back into the lead here. And this match that's on tomorrow morning at 3 AM my time, this match should be a good match between Vinces and Interchange X. Vinces put Bedhead over to the one-loss side with a pretty solid performance. And the two of them are going to meet at 3 AM British Summer Time. And I intend to be there to get that match covered. So Senny is breaking off in rack number 8. And the 3-ball has gone. I don't think that one passes, does it? Well, it's too tight. You basically got to roll that in dead weight to skim it past the 5. I don't even think it's worth the effort. Well, he's gone for it. He's gone for it again. He's got the same problem here. He's going to have to cheat the pocket. He's just got to roll this again, dead weight to give it the chance to go into the pocket. Well, his eyes are far better than mine. I thought he had to cheat the pocket for it. Well, is he going to cut this down the rail past the 6 again? Anything's possible here. Yeah, 3 AM it's set for. Yeah. Well, that was a good effort, but I think Larry's going to go for the bank here if he can see enough of it. Presume that's what he called. No, he can't. Somebody tell me that cue ball doesn't go past the 7, so he's going to jump it. That's a good shot. Is it holding up? Yes, it is. I think there's still trouble ahead here. Yep. 7 ball doesn't go past the 8. Potman, do me a favour, find out what the Liverpool score is, please. Well, the angle is perfect to go around 1, 2, 3, possibly 4 rails. Possibly that way and out if he can, or if he hits it short to leave the combo on the 7 and 8. Well, I think he's going to get there. He's going to get to the point in the rail, I think, almost. Let's have a look. And this is all about just focusing to the point in the rail where you want to push that 7 ball. You're not really worried so much about the 8, you're just worried about pushing that 7 to about there to make the cut. Because if you get that right, the laws of physics does everything else. The 8 ball has to go in, but if you chip it in front of the 8, you're going to push the 8 just to the knuckle. Well, I don't know what Larry saw there, but I think he thought he could squeeze that past the 8. But for the life of me, there was no way that 8 ball could the 7 could pass the 8 when I first looked at it. But here would be a good one for Senny to steal to tie the match up again. Still 0-0. Thanks very much. And don't forget, last season Liverpool were crap away from home. I think they struggled to get a result in their. I don't think they won any of their matches. Maybe somebody will remind me, but in the group stage last year they were crap away from home. They were almost as bad as Celtic. Well, there we go. Senny falls short again, and there's no doubt this time Larry's going for the bank and around the corner and out for the 10. And Larry would get this 9 times out of 10 every day of the week. But he's missed it this time. This is the one time he's missed it. Now, can Senny take advantage this time? The angle is a little soft draw stun to the left. Nothing heavy, but you've got to focus on that pot first of all, though. And he's gone too far again. And it's the same as before. This is even worse. And this is going to be sore that he's going to keep losing racks at the crucial point at the money ball, but not this time. And again, that is such an important rack to win in the whole context of the match, with the objective in staying with Larry till as deep into the match as he can and not letting him get away. And Larry breaking off, the 9 ball goes in. He's going to have to jump the 8 unless he just goes for a push out, but I would think again he's more inclined to jump for the 1. But if you look at where the 2 ball is, what's the point? I don't think Larry will jump that. I think when he sees where the 2 ball is, it's absolutely pointless trying to do that. Now if Larry plays to the left hand side of the table here, he could be in trouble. And that there, well, if Senny just picks this sharp, he can kill that cue ball. And if he actually been able to put a little bit of draw on it, he could actually put Larry in trouble. But I think he's going for the cut. And again, the 2 ball is going nowhere. And now he has the chance to just skim off that 2 and put Larry in trouble. And that will do. I don't know whether Larry thinks he can jump this and stay in the table. It's an easy kick. An easy kick up. Oops, wait a minute. Up sort of there. And he's misjudged it completely. And the worst possible outcome, he split the 3 and 4. And everything is there. And it's ball in hand to Senny. Well, this is going to be an easy enough 2. And if he gets deep enough back down the table here for this 3, the 3 and 4 shouldn't be a problem. It's getting onto that 5. And he's left this short, but he's got to, again, just pocket this. Give it every chance to hold the cue ball and stop it escaping too far up the table. And it's escaped. So once again, he's going to have to pull out some pots here. He's not making it easy for himself. I'll give him that. Now that pace, just another ounce of pace. And it's another bedhead angle here on the 5. And sooner or later it's going to catch up with him, and it might just have right now. That's going to scratch, and that's a disaster. It's another one that's going to get away for Senny. I'm sounding like a broken record here, but this match could have such a different scoreline on it. And it looks very much the shape of this is Senny just again chasing Larry. Time after time, rack after rack. But of course, it's going to get to the stage very quickly where we're running out of racks. Larry's going to be halfway home here, leading by 5 racks to 4. There must be at least 4 racks that Senny could and should have won. And Senny is breaking off in rack number 10, and no luck. He gets a ball in the break and no shot in the 1. Well, he might be in trouble in a minute. If he finishes top side of that one ball. Right, well that, I don't think Larry can squeeze the one past the 5 at that angle, so he's probably saved himself from being locked up against the 5. Larry maybe just try to miss the 5 with the cue ball and not move that one ball too far. I think it's a little delicate shot he's going to have to try and play here. I think he's worried about missing the 5. Well, he has pushed it behind the 5, and he's managed to get reasonable cover here, I think. Well, Senny can see enough of the 1 to be able to get away from it. I think what he should do is call the 9, even though he's not really playing the 9, and just try and get that cue ball back up the table and avoid the 8 ball. He should just be more focused on the cue ball here than worrying whether the 9 goes in or not. It won't really matter. It's just about getting distance if he can. The 9 goes in, that's a bonus, but it's not the main objective. Yeah, he's decided, rather than risk and running, to keep it short, and it's still safe. That's the important thing. Well, this time Larry hasn't got a gap big enough. Yeah, it's tight again. Same priority here for Larry. Doesn't know where the 1 ball's going to end up. But he went all out for it, and once again, this is a chance. It is not easy because the 4 is in no playable position really. 6 in the side rail blocks it into one corner pocket, and it might be the best you'll get out of this as a bank on the 4, but Senny's had plenty of practice in the banks already in this match to pretty good success, and he's played the pace in that perfect. Now, does he just try and stun this up the table a bit to leave the bank? Well, he's gone all up the table. Avoided the scratch. Now it's going to be a brave man to play the combo here. The difference with this combo, I was talking about this in a couple other matches where players are trying to play combos on balls that aren't perfectly lined, and this one is actually as best lined as it could be. It's not that bad, but it's still very, very difficult. But it doesn't matter as far as Senny's concerned, because he's given himself and given Larry, the second prize, a really tight hook that Larry can't get to. So Larry's decided to bite the bullet and try and lock something up, but he's failed on that, and this now is a golden opportunity for Senny to get back all square with Larry. Now, is he hampered by that 9? He needs to make sure he's cueing at this cue ball right and he hasn't moved the tip, because he could put a bit of spin on this. Now there's another problem. Well, he's got an angle to come around off the side short rail and over to this side, and he's under hit it. But he's going to have to go this into the middle. It's a really tight cut. And it's another one where he's just making life so difficult for himself. But in it goes. And how many times have we seen this shot where the 9 or the 10 ball's wide open in the middle of the table and you're trying to just give yourself a half decent shot on it, and now he's in no man's land. Well, if he goes for the cut into the middle, he's surely going to scratch. Oh, he's called the corner pocket. He needs to watch the scratch in the middle here. And, well, the best thing he's got out of that is distance. He almost scratched in the middle. How's it looking? Well, Larry again has to hit this just on the sweet spot. And this is going to be the break that Larry's been looking for if he can get this 10 ball and not scratch himself. And in it goes. And is this the point where Larry is going to stretch and open the gap? He's now got a 2-rack gap for the first time in the match, I think. And again, it's the same story. Senny had his chance and he's blown it. Senny could be sitting leading 6-4 easily here. Easily. With all the chances that he's managed to fail on. And it's all down to position. I mean, he hasn't been missing easy things. He's just been leaving things so damn tough. Well, I don't know whether Larry can push. Maybe what's he doing here? Is he playing the billiard? I think he fancies the billiard. Clip the 2. Push onto that 10. But just looking to get it safe. And yet another chance for Senny now. This might knock the stuffing out of him if he pots this. Gets on the 3 and can't run out. He'll take that though. I bet he's glad he missed that 2 now, because he had no shot in the 3. And he has Larry in trouble again. Well, I think it's vital that if Senny gets ball in hand here, he has to hold himself together and get this rack in the bag. Well, this time Larry's looking to again lock something up here. He's just going to try and maybe marry the 5 to the 9. Well, I don't know what the plan was there, but it's done nothing to make it any more difficult for Senny. Senny's got ball in hand. I suppose the one train of thought is that Larry wanted to send a 9 down onto that bottom rail and make it as difficult as he could for Senny to get onto the 9 in such a way to get up the table for that 10. So that remains to be seen if his plan works out. He's fallen short of the rail, but it's still a fair distance, and that there is a sign that Senny wasn't confident enough to go for the run out. He went for a 2-10 combo with a fair big distance between the two, And he may well have just played into Larry's hands here, because Larry could lock him up behind a 6 and put him in dire straits. And that table was there for the taking if you were confident enough. But Senny's given himself some hard knocks in this match already. It's not Larry that's done it. It's Senny that's done it on himself. But he's got another chance. Larry's not got the cover. And it's yet another go for Senny to put this away. Well, loads of inside left English to check the cue ball, stop it escaping. And now he's got to get behind this 7, all about controlling the pace. And he's left it short, way short. And immediately he's in trouble again. He's having to dig out a shot here and somehow get across for that 9 into the same pocket. Oh, he's going too far. Oh, this is another one. It's the same tale in the majority of these racks that we've seen. He's had to dig out a 9. The cue ball's running all over the place. And now he's got an even more difficult 10 ball. Well, I mean, clearly the 10 ball will pot. And I don't think he'll scratch off this. The angle that he has will take him at worst over to the right rail. And he's overcut it. And the cue ball's running up and running up. Well, this now, I think, may well be the major turning point in the match, where Larry's given another chance on a toughish 10 ball, but this will give him a 3 rack cushion. Well, and it goes, cue ball save. Senny's not played bad. I mean, he's potted well. The biggest problem for most of us in this game is holding it together and holding that position. And it's on that he's failed. He's just asked himself too much. Well, Senny is back with a break. Couple of balls in the break. And no shot in the 4, but looking to just get that cue ball. Unless he wants to go risk it, cut it into the middle. But he could have Larry in trouble. But now it's the same thing. It's getting that chance and taking it. I don't think I've seen so many racks repeat themselves. A whole bundle of racks in this match have shaped the same way, with Senny having an open table and a chance, doing a lot of the hard work, and then either leaving the last ball. He's probably left the 10 ball at least 3 times. And then he might wonder why he's 7-4 behind. So Larry escapes with a jump. Senny is going to have to dig deep on this to move this cue ball. It is so difficult to get anywhere near this 5 ball. If he goes forward, all he's doing is running into the 10 and 7. And that's a great shot. He's got the wrong angle on the 5, but he's managed to dig in far enough and give himself enough angle to run up the table. He needs to watch the scratch if he just tries to stun this. Well, he's trying to draw and come across. He's going to leave the high cut. Similar problem with this shot. The high cut gives you less control in what you can do with the cue ball to even get a sight on a 7. And he's going to have nothing. And he has to judge the pace in this. I think he's going full-blooded for the cut here. I don't think he's thinking of safety. Yeah, and he's just rushed into it. Desperate to get the shot over with, and that isn't a good sign. Plenty of time in the shot clock, remember. A 1 minute shot clock. You've always just got to look for the signs where the heart's been knocked out of Senny. And that shot there was not it wasn't giving you the greatest of confidence that his heart was still in this. And it'll be even less so if Larry can put this away. Well, it's just straight through, and as long as he comes up the table rather than going to the right, he's going to just leave a shot, a distance shot on the 10. Oh, he didn't want to go near the 10 there, but he's just chipped it. He's okay. So it's now going to be a 4-rack gap, and Larry within 2. And Larry breaking off in rack number 13. He's gone dry. And the 7 and 9 are locked up. That 7 ball that Senny had there, down in this corner, down here, I think it was here, and it might have been the 9 that was there. I can't remember what ball it was, but Senny could have just gently pushed it through and used that ball there as the cover for a safety, but he wasn't interested. He was desperate to keep himself at the table and rushed into that 7. And I think Larry's just going to bide his time, thinking that the mistake's going to have to come at some point. Well, there's a slim to zero chance of potting this 5 and getting really good on that 6 ball. Well, Larry can do 2 things here. He can pot the 5, he can nudge into the 7 or the 9, and he's more than likely to play a safety on that 6, which locks Senny up. Well, he didn't. He's decided to play the cut in the 6, but I don't know what he's going to do with the 7. I thought it'd have been worthwhile trying to just break into those 2 and play a safety on the 6 that locks the cue ball to the 8 and open the table for himself if Senny missed a kick. Larry's hooked himself. Well, I'm going to say nothing here, apart from the fact that Senny's Chinese snookered over the 10 ball. And if he hits this with enough pace to pot the 7, cue ball's going to be nowhere over on the left-hand side of the table. And it's still managed to sneak away. And this is so difficult. And Larry's just going to step in again. Well, he can go all out for the 8 ball and run around the table, or he can just go the natural path the cue ball's going to go and run that way and play the 9 long. But he might want to try running around to go over. He's stunned it over as best he can, but it's the same thing, 6.5 a dozen. He would have landed in the same place if he just rolled through. And this is the one that has always got a likelihood of going wrong. Larry might just run through for the 10 into the middle, or he might run around the angles. And as long as he avoids the 10, he should be high and dry. And just within 1 rack of another round in the 1 lost side. And this is now Senny's last chance. Really to get now what you would call respectability, because he could have so much a different scoreline when he thinks about the chances he's missed. So push out played. Senny has the choice of playing or pushing it back to Larry. I think it's going to be the 1-7. Oh no, he's looking to bank it. Well, again, it's just all or nothing. Get the bank just to keep yourself at the table. Cut back in the 2. Let's look at that one. Well, plenty of room. And it's hung up. Now, the 6 ball is tightish, but it goes past the 9, but only if you get good on it. Like if you're sitting here. Even if you were sitting there, it still makes the shot much more difficult. So that 6 ball is going to be the problem. Now, Larry actually has a chance here to stun across. Well, he's got that entirely wrong, because if he'd hit it right, he could have stunned across and maybe ran into the 6 and the 9 and still have a shot in the 4. But he's getting the next best thing. He's putting his opponent in trouble. And, well, this could be Senny's last shot in this tournament. And that's now made it wide open. It's the fatal mistake, because he's missed the 4, and in doing so he's knocked out the 6 and the 8, and everything is wide open, and Larry will just take his time, size up the lay of the table, and finish off this match. And we'll have a little look at the bracket in a minute or two just to see who Larry's likely to get next. I don't know if anybody's waiting there for Larry. I never looked at that side so much. Well, he's still got to get from the 9 to the 10, but there's such a big area of table to manoeuvre the cue ball in, and he's got the perfect angle in the 8 to drop down onto the 9. And he really wants to be on the inside of the 9, nearer the bottom rail if he can. Well, he's gone the highway and left the angle that way, so if he's going to go up the right hand side of the table, the only thing to go wrong here is the pace and he scratches. Well, it threatened the middle pocket, but the 10 ball will go in, no problem. And Larry will have survived 2 matches in the 1 loss side. He wins the match against Senny by 10 racks to 4. He had a tough match against Marcellus to win that just by the odd couple of racks. So we'll see how that shapes up now. Well, surprise, surprise, Phoenix ended up forfeiting to Potman. I never even noticed that one. That's another result that went through. Bedhead is now waiting to play Potman. Snake Eyes is waiting to play Romario. And where the hell's Larry? Oh, there we are. Larry is going to play DJ Simon next. Well, I hope Simon was watching that match to see how many opportunities you can possibly get in a match and how many you don't want to be missing, because this match could have been a totally different story. It had the potential, with the amount of misses that Senny made at crucial times, to actually take it all the way. Oh, I never even noticed you there, Andy. Right, so a quick reminder before everybody goes that if you don't get the chance to watch this one, this match is next up at 3 AM tomorrow morning. That'll be late evening US time, and that'll be between Vince Says and Interchange X. I'll be there, and if you can't get there to see it, it'll be on my channel tomorrow morning. So until then, chaps, thanks for joining us, and if you can't join us later on, I'll see you again sometime. Take care.